There's a weed growing in your backyard right now that's worth more per pound than gold. While you're spraying it with herbicide and cursing its existence, pharmaceutical companies are harvesting the same plant and selling it for $10,000 per pound. You've been throwing away a fortune that could pay off your mortgage, fund your retirement, or change your life forever. This isn't some rare exotic plant from a distant rainforest. It's a common weed that grows in every climate, in every country, probably within 50 feet of where you're sitting right now. Big Pharma has built billion-dollar empires around compounds extracted from plants you consider worthless nuisances. While you're paying hundreds for their synthetic versions, the original source is growing free in your yard. Why don't you know this? Because there's no profit in telling you that weeds are worth fortunes. Pharmaceutical companies need you buying their expensive products, not harvesting the same compounds from your garden for free. They've spent decades convincing you that these plants are worthless pests, while secretly building their entire industry around them. Welcome to where we reveal the fortunes hiding in plain sight. If this is your first time here, subscribe and hit the bell, because what I'm about to show you could make you rich using plants you've been killing for years. This is knowledge that could turn your backyard into a gold mine, but only if you know what to look for. The plant I'm talking about first is wild ginseng, and if you find it growing naturally on your property, you've literally struck gold. Wild American ginseng sells for $8,000 to $15,000 per pound, sometimes more for premium roots. A single mature root can be worth $500 to $2,000. People have found single plants worth more than most people's cars. But here's the secret pharmaceutical companies don't want you to know. Wild ginseng isn't actually rare, it's just unrecognized. The plant grows throughout eastern North America in shaded woodland areas. Millions of property owners have ginseng growing on their land and have no idea they're sitting on a fortune. They see it as just another woodland weed and ignore the thousands of dollars growing under their trees. Ginseng is valuable because it contains ginsenosides, compounds that pharmaceutical companies extract and sell in supplements, energy drinks, and medications. A bottle of ginseng supplements that costs $50 at the pharmacy contains maybe $2 worth of actual ginseng. The markup is astronomical because most people don't know they can harvest the source material themselves. But ginseng is just the beginning. Your yard is probably full of plants worth hundreds or thousands of dollars per pound that you've been treating as worthless weeds. Pharmaceutical companies have identified over 20,000 medicinal compounds in common plants, many of which grow wild in suburban neighborhoods across America. Take wild garlic, also called ramps. This common woodland plant sells for up to $200 per pound in upscale restaurants and specialty markets. Chefs pay premium prices for wild garlic because it has a unique flavor that can't be replicated by cultivated varieties. A small patch of wild garlic can generate thousands of dollars in annual income if harvested sustainably. Wild garlic grows in the same woodland conditions as ginseng, often in the same areas. Property owners with shaded land frequently have both plants growing naturally, representing tens of thousands of dollars in potential income from plants they consider weeds. The irony is that people pay landscapers to remove these valuable plants, while restaurants pay fortunes to obtain them. Dandelions, the most hated lawn weed in America, are worth up to $50 per pound for their medicinal roots. Pharmaceutical companies extract compounds from dandelion roots to manufacture liver detox supplements, digestive aids, and anti-inflammatory medications. The same dandelion you're poisoning with herbicides contains the active ingredients in supplements that cost hundreds of dollars. But the real money is in the knowledge of how to identify, harvest, and process these plants properly. A single mature dandelion root, properly dried and processed, can be worth $5 to $10. An average suburban lawn contains hundreds of dandelion plants, representing thousands of dollars in potential income from plants most people consider worthless pests. Plantain, another common lawn weed, is worth up to $30 per pound for its medicinal leaves. This plant grows in every lawn, every vacant lot, every disturbed area in North America. Pharmaceutical companies extract compounds from plantain to manufacture wound healing products, anti-inflammatory creams, and respiratory medications. You're literally walking on medicine worth hundreds of dollars every time you cross your lawn. The markup on these plant-based pharmaceuticals is obscene. A tube of plantain-based healing salve costs $20 to $30 at health stores. The plantain in that tube is worth maybe 50 cents. The rest is markup, packaging, and profit. You could make the same product using plantain from your yard for virtually nothing. Violet leaves, another common yard weed, sell for up to $40 per pound in herbal medicine markets. These heart-shaped leaves contain compounds that pharmaceutical companies extract for respiratory medications and skin treatments. Violets grow wild in lawns, gardens, and woodland edges throughout North America. Most people see them as pretty but worthless flowers, not realizing the leaves are worth more than many people's hourly wages. Wild mint species, often considered invasive weeds, are worth $20 to $60 per pound, depending on the variety. Pharmaceutical companies extract menthol and other compounds from wild mints to manufacture everything from cough drops to muscle pain relievers. The same mint you're trying to eliminate from your garden contains the active ingredients in products that cost hundreds of dollars. But here's where it gets really interesting. Pharmaceutical companies don't actually grow these plants themselves. They contract with harvesters who collect wild plants from public and private land, often paying just a few dollars per pound for plants they'll process into products worth thousands. These harvesters know exactly what to look for and where to find it. The harvesting industry is a closely guarded secret because pharmaceutical companies don't want people to know how cheap their raw materials actually are. They prefer that people believe their expensive products are made from rare, exotic ingredients that justify premium prices. The reality is that most pharmaceutical compounds come from common plants that grow wild everywhere. Professional plant harvesters can make six-figure incomes collecting weeds that most people consider worthless. They know which plants are valuable, when to harvest them for maximum potency, how to process them properly, and where to sell them for top dollar. This knowledge is the difference between seeing weeds and seeing money. Now let me show you how to identify the most valuable plants that are probably growing on your property right now. This information could literally change your financial situation using resources you already own but don't recognize. Wild ginseng has distinctive compound leaves with 5 leaflets arranged like fingers on a hand. The plant grows 12 to 24 inches tall in shaded woodland areas with rich, well-drained soil. Mature plants develop bright red berries in late summer and fall. The valuable part is the root, which develops the characteristic human-like shape that makes ginseng so prized. Look for ginseng in deciduous forests with maple, oak, hickory, and tulip trees. The plant prefers north-facing slopes with morning sun and afternoon shade. Ginseng often grows near wild leeks, trillium, and bloodroot, so finding these companion plants can indicate suitable ginseng habitat. The older the root, the more valuable it becomes, with some century-old roots selling for thousands of dollars. Wild garlic has long, narrow leaves that emerge directly from the ground in early spring. The leaves have a strong garlic smell when crushed and often have a bluish-green color. The plants grow in colonies in rich woodland soil, often covering large areas under deciduous trees. The valuable parts are both the leaves and the underground bulbs. Harvest wild garlic in early spring when the leaves are young and tender. The bulbs can be harvested in late spring after the leaves have stored energy underground. Both parts command premium prices in specialty markets, with restaurants paying top dollar for the unique flavor that can't be cultivated commercially. Dandelions are easily recognized by their deeply toothed leaves and bright yellow flowers. But the valuable part is the root, which most people never see because they only cut the above-ground portions. Dandelion roots can grow 2 feet deep and develop thick, fleshy tap roots that contain the highest concentrations of medicinal compounds. Harvest dandelion roots in fall when the plant has stored maximum energy underground. Dig carefully to get the entire root system. Clean thoroughly and dry properly to preserve the medicinal compounds. Properly processed dandelion root can sell for $50 to $100 per pound to herbal medicine companies. Plantain has oval leaves with distinctive parallel veins running from base to tip. The leaves grow in a rosette pattern close to the ground, and the plant produces tall, narrow flower spikes. Plantain grows in compacted soil, making it common in lawns, driveways, and footpaths. The leaves contain the valuable medicinal compounds. Harvest plantain leaves when they're young and tender, before the plant flowers. The leaves can be dried and sold to herbal medicine companies or processed into healing salves and tinctures. Fresh plantain leaves are also valuable to restaurants that use them in specialty salads and garnishes. Violets have heart-shaped leaves and purple or white flowers in spring. The plants spread by underground runners, often forming large colonies in lawns and woodland edges. Both the leaves and flowers are valuable, with the leaves containing higher concentrations of medicinal compounds. Harvest violet leaves throughout the growing season, taking only a portion from each plant to ensure continued growth. The leaves can be dried and sold to herbal medicine companies or used fresh in specialty culinary applications. Violet flowers are also valuable as edible garnishes for upscale restaurants. Wild mint species have square stems and opposite leaves with serrated edges. The plants have a strong minty smell when crushed and often grow in moist areas near streams, ponds, or low-lying areas. Different mint species have different values, with some rare varieties worth over $100 per pound. The key to making money from these plants is understanding the market and developing relationships with buyers. Herbal medicine companies, specialty restaurants, farmers markets, and online platforms all represent potential markets for wild harvested plants. The demand is enormous and growing as people seek natural alternatives to synthetic products. But harvesting wild plants requires knowledge, skill, and respect for sustainable practices. Overharvesting can destroy plant populations and eliminate future income sources. Professional harvesters follow strict guidelines to ensure plant populations remain healthy while maximizing long-term profits. The processing and storage of wild plants is crucial for maintaining value. Improper drying, contamination, or storage can render valuable plants worthless. Learning proper post-harvest handling techniques is essential for anyone serious about turning weeds into wealth. Legal considerations are also important. While many plants can be legally harvested from private property, harvesting from public lands often requires permits or may be prohibited entirely. Understanding local regulations is essential for avoiding legal problems while building a plant harvesting business. The irony is overwhelming. While you're paying hundreds of dollars for pharmaceutical products made from common weeds, those same weeds are growing free in your yard. While you're spending money on herbicides to kill valuable plants, pharmaceutical companies are paying harvesters to collect the same species from other locations. Your backyard weed that's worth $10,000 per pound isn't just a plant. It's a symbol of how disconnected we become from the natural wealth that surrounds us. It represents knowledge that was common sense to previous generations, but has been systematically erased to protect pharmaceutical profits. If this opened your eyes to the fortunes growing in your yard, hit like so more people can discover what they're throwing away. Subscribe because we're revealing more hidden wealth that's hiding in plain sight. Share this with someone who needs to know that their biggest gardening problems might actually be their biggest financial opportunities. The weed wealth revolution starts with recognizing that nature provides abundance for those who know how to see it, and that the most valuable things in life are often the ones we've been taught to ignore. Your ancestors knew these plants were treasures. Now you know why that knowledge was buried.